Hi, everyone. I am sitting waiting for a kid, like always. And it's been a while. I have tried to record a couple videos now and cannot get through them or cannot get them updated quick enough or edited quick enough to post. So I'm going to try today to get something posted. It has been a very, very busy summer. So usually July and August are insane. And I mean insane for me at work. So we have to close out our fiscal year by September 1st. And so there's 2 months in which we can process everything for the prior year and establish the current year. So there is a lot of movement, a lot of stuff happening all at once and balancing between both years. So it's just a lot. And generally speaking, kind of by the time I'm done with my workday, there's not much left in me mentally. Just a lot of mental gymnastics. So I kind of actually, even on the knitting front, I have been really boring. Like, I know that's sad. I've really just been working on hats and some socks. I have a couple sweater projects that I've been wanting to work through. I also have my Tammy Tension class that I've been wanting to finish up. I actually have the swatches done, but I just have to sit there and do kind of the write-up and then in the analysis of it. But I don't, kind of by the end of the day, my cognitive load is just capped up. So I have just really been doing things that are simple and bring me joy. So socks, and hats. And so I have been trying to make a point to go to knitting nights and break away. One of my kiddos is coming usually to one of the knitting nights with me. They like doing that. And so I've been taking one each time and just let them color or knit or do whatever the heck they want in terms of crafting. But it kind of gives them a break away from their sisters, and they kind of get one-on-one time with me. I'm trying to see if my wife will do, I've kind of been chatting with her about doing like a painting night or a beading night. And she could take one, but kind of challenge would be a lot of the times they don't, like those things they don't have, they don't let kids kind of go, and it's just not a free space for them to just go. Usually it's a class type thing. But I finished these up. Well, this one, and I know the heel doesn't match. This was the nicest same Targi yarn, so I just did this weird, I don't know, camel color heel. This is a one-of-a-kind skein from Woolens and Nosh. It I think it's like a couple years old. The colorway was Happy Camper, and I think this was like kind of some of the test dyes. And when it went out, she was trying to get rid of it. I was like, oh, I'm taking a bunch of them because I liked that colorway and I like the Targi yarn. Targi is a little more sturdy, I guess, and rustic. It's soft, but it holds up a little bit more. So I have been playing around with my circular sock machine. I have a Dean and Bean circular sock machine, which is bright pink, and they're 3D printed. But lately, all I've tried to do some of it and kind of understand it, but I I kind of need someone sitting there with me because it's very technical and the videos don't really show what I need to kind of understand. But there's a gal at my that goes to a couple of the knitting nights with me, and she owns like 7 or 8 circular sock machines. That's her business. She just kind of cranks out socks and goes and sells them at fiber fairs and things like that. And she'll take people's sock yarn and make socks for them if that's what they want, if they don't, can't finish them up. But I reached out to her and was like, hey, would you mind showing me how to use this? Like I understand the basics, but like I'm still getting hooked up on these things. So I kind of just took the whole thing. She kind of did an exam of it. We kind of played around, and we actually she found that a couple of the parts were not working right. So I had to order replacements. They just kind of got worn out. And then some of the tensioning dials weren't hitting correctly. So she kind of went in there and fiddled around and made some adjustments. So I was able to crank like a tube and couldn't kind of switch back and forth to where you make the heel and toe. So I would really just crank a full tube, split that in half, and then essentially I got most of the stockinette done, and I would just go in, rip back to finish the toe, heel, and finish the cuff. But hopefully with her, I'll be able to kind of learn that back and forth to finish a toe and a heel. So I've been doing kind of playing around. I've been doing a hung hem on a couple of these, which I cranked the tube with this, did a hung hem, and then finished the toe and the heel separately. My next thing, I have the concept of the wrap and turns for the heel and the toe down. I just kind of have to find that rhythm. But kind of what I want to work with her next is I have the ribber dial, which lets you do like 1x1 or 2x2 rib. And I need to kind of understand how that interacts with the camshell, because that's actually kind of more of a like getting it to engage correctly, versus the heel and toe is more of like a technique, and you have to understand the back and forth rhythm of the wrap and turn, where if you don't have the ribber set up exactly how it's supposed to and engage correctly, it won't work. So I want to figure that part out with her, make sure that it's kind of there's no kind of broken parts or things misaligned, and then I know for sure the whole setup is functioning as it is, and then I can kind of get that practice done. But yeah, so I finished this up. I know the heel does not match. I actually tried to do it with the more of the and do a matching where it was striping, but I'd have to like rip a bunch of the yarn out, and I didn't want to like break multiple sections of the yarn so that I could do a heel. So I just did this. And honestly, I don't care. Like, it's just kind of to get the practice. Also, it's mindless knitting. So yeah, I have the other one. This is my normal kind of go-to. I generally do afterthought heels, which if like an afterthought heel is you kind of go in, pick up stitches, and then cut the yarn, rip out, and then insert a toe. So I don't do any type of forethought where you would put in a lifeline to make it work. I honestly just, once I figured out the afterthought process, it's not that scary, in all honesty. So I don't have my, I thought I had my knitting scissors with me, but I don't. I have fingernail clippers, so I'm going to clip this, and then I will start on this heel. And then for me, I generally do what is I've heard it referred to as a plain heel or a peasant heel, which is essentially where your heel matches your toe. So you kind of do, for this, I do 2 decreases on one full round, and then knit a couple plain rounds, then 2 decreases on both sides, or 4, I guess. Sorry, so 2 on each side of the sock, which is a total of 4. Knit a couple rounds, decrease, knit a couple round, decrease, and then you slowly do that, and then eventually you get to where you're just doing decrease, 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 and then catch through the toe. So that is what I like doing. Sorry, you can hear my heels clacking. But yeah, I mean, this is honestly, it's not that, once you kind of get the rhythm of picking up the stitches and then cutting into the yarn, it's honestly not too bad. It kind of makes it to where you don't have to plan or think in advance of, you can just, especially since I'm kind of still trying to get that rhythm with the circular machine, I can just crank a tube and, and go in after the fact. So let me finish picking this up. Okay, done. You know what, you have to sit here while I'm just silently picking away. So yeah, I cut into the heel, and essentially you make a little mouth, and then you pick back. Usually, or it's recommended that you leave 2 or 3 stitches on, because it helps with not having a gap or a hole in your heel junction. So you'll see on here, if I can get it to, sorry, like, I didn't rip all the way back on either side. And then what that does is it kind of creates a little bit of a pocket as you're knitting the heel to cover up and blend in the contrast yarn or the heel yarn. So for me, I leave kind of a longer tail when I start the heel. This does kind of help if I do have gaps. It lets me kind of bind those things together. Generally with this process, I don't feel like I have too bad of gap issues, but it, I don't know. It kind of depends on how tight I'm knitting, and then kind of also depends on the yarn. So essentially for me, what I do is I just start knitting, and I knit a couple rounds. I then do, for me, like, to help secure and weave in ends, I hold the yarn that I cut with my heel yarn, and I knit 2 or 3 stitches held double, and then drop that yarn, and it helps just secure the yarn you cut. You don't have to do that. You could totally just keep going and then weave in that end later. But that's just what I do. It doesn't hurt my feelings. It doesn't look bad either, because it's just, once you come up to it, make sure the sock, the non-heel yarn, in this case the orange, is held on the back, and when you knit that next stitch, the orange will be on the back, and you can't see it. So honestly, you can't tell. And then really all you have to do is, as you come up to your junctions and start on the next side, at least, or well, okay, if you're knitting in the round, you're not going to have this issue. But if you're knitting on DPNs or magic loop or double circulars like I do, you just have to pull tighter on the first 2 stitches when you start your round. And you just do that a couple times and it will help close the gap. And you just kind of make sure that you pull tight to help close the gap, and you do it on a couple of the knit rounds. And then after a little bit, it won't matter. Like once you've done 2 or 3 rounds, you're in rhythm. So here I'm coming up on the next round. I just kind of pull tight on this one, a little bit tighter, and I pull tight on the next one, and it helps close that gap. And then just go back, and it kind of sometimes can be a little bit of pain when you have to work that stitch in the next round. But I mean, I'm not pulling so tight that it's, I can't get the needle through the next time. But yeah, so this is my mindless knitting, just having fun making a sock. I posted already on Instagram. I didn't post anything on YouTube. Maybe I'll post something here soon. I put those helical socks in the fair. And then I also put in a hat that was my hat pattern I'm working on. I did a red, white, and blue hat for the 250th anniversary of the U.S. being, it's, breaking free. And I got first place for my hat. So I was really excited. The socks didn't place anything, and that's okay. They were pretty basic socks. They weren't color work in terms of like making any type of motif or anything. So it didn't hurt my feelings. But I was really excited that my hat got first place. But yeah, I think I get like $7 or something like that. But it was funny because when I was at the fair, they had it on a mannequin head and it had the brim flipped up. And I don't know, like, I don't think it was intentional, but like they just had it flipped up so the Latvian braid wasn't showing. And I kind of went up to the gal that was in charge and I was like, hey, can I make some adjustments to how my hat's being displayed? Because the Latvian braid is honestly one of like the most like a key element in terms of the design for that, how it looks. And she was like, oh yeah, of course. So she just handed it to me. I made some adjustments and it looks really cool. I mean, I got excited. And it was funny. So we went to the fair on the first day. We actually were there like an hour early because I read online that it opened at 10, but it opened at 11. So it was okay. We just went there. It was a nice kind of semi-sunny day. There was a few sprinkles here and there, nothing bad. It was lovely. We spent 9 hours at the fair, I think. Walked all over the place. Just had a lot of fun, and it was nice that it wasn't so crazy. The first day, or the weekends are really, really insane. Like we have a lot of traffic at our fair. It's not anywhere near as big as like some of the other states, but we still have a lot of traffic. We have a lot of people that come in from out of state. But yeah, so we actually went there. The girls did some paintings and they entered them. Reagan won second place for one of her paintings. The other two didn't place, so they were a little upset, but Reagan very much is artsy and like takes the time to do stuff really nice in terms of painting and coloring and drawing and stuff. So she was really excited. We spent probably an hour and a half in the barn with all the animals. There was kind of bunch of goats and sheep. There was a pig that was expecting a litter. And then we kind of came up on this little egg incubator, and we sat there and watched a quail hatch, which was really cool. The girls were like, honestly, 30-40 minutes just sitting there watching, and they were so excited. They weren't like, oh, I'm bored of this. They were really eager to see it. And then apparently a news anchor was like there. We didn't think anything of it because usually the fair sees us and they take a picture of the triplets and put it on the Facebook page. But this was like a news anchor, and so we made it on the front page of the newspaper, which was kind of cool. And then they ended up interviewing us, which was neat as well. But yeah, so we just had a lot of fun. We're gonna go again this weekend, just to kind of one more time. I'm a little bit weird, and the fair food is always very heavy to me. So I ended up cutting up like a bunch of fruit and brought a bottle of like a jug of juice. And so then we didn't really have to, like, we didn't eat too much in the way of fair food, which honestly was fine. Like, it's very heavy, it's very greasy. When it's really hot out, I don't want fried food. And that was a very warm day for us. I mean, it probably not for down south, but it was warm for Alaska. A lot of direct sunlight. You know, and you're walking around. So I think we did like 7 miles. But I don't know. We'll have, it'll be fun. And then from there, we'll just, I don't know. I don't know what else we're going to do that weekend. I have to count how many rows I had to go up. I did. That's right. I did 3. The girls are back in school. Things are starting to kind of move in terms of, they're enjoying their classes. We send them up for some after school activities and clubs. And so I'm actually helping one of my old boss, and I are actually going to be, or former boss, not my old boss. She's not that much older than me. We're going to be teaching a STEM class because you have to volunteer a little bit of time for this school. It's a private school. So we kind of were like, yeah, let's take on something that's a little different, and so we're going to try to do some science experience STEM class or STEM activities with the kids. Just something different. There's a lot of arts and crafts and a lot of sports clubs, so we were trying to find something that was a little different. I do want to teach a knitting class at the school, but the challenge is, like, I'd have to have a really small group, especially if I'm teaching from the beginning, just because, like, it's one of those things that you have to really, like, help them and guide them. I was thinking more, I actually might teach a crochet club, or start a crochet club, because that one is a little bit easier for younger kids. They'll understand the dexterity, or they have the dexterity for it, and they can understand the concept a little bit easier. But I don't know yet. I haven't decided. That'll be next semester. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing 2 after schools this in 1 year. That's just insanity. But yeah, I'm gonna just keep working away. Emery will be done here momentarily, and then we're gonna go home and we're gonna enjoy the sun. It is starting to be a little fallish here. I wouldn't say fully fall. It is cold and crisp in the mornings, and then warms up during the day. So it's about 70 degrees right now, with barely any sun, with barely any clouds. So it is just direct sunlight. That is really one of the things about Alaska. We are closer to the sun during the summer, and a lot of the times there's enough weather systems to where we just have direct sunlight. Like, there's not a lot of cloud coverage a lot of the times. So it is very easy to be overheated and sunburnt in Alaska. Most people would never think that. But no, it is, yeah, the Earth is on an axis, and during the summer, we are closer to the sun. and we have a lot more daylight. So sunset is generally right now, like it starts to get dark around 10 o'clock. Back in kind of July and, June, July, beginning of August, the sun didn't set. Like it was just bright, so we're starting to kind of do that slow spin back and, heading towards autumn. I'm hoping with kind of being done with work, or done with the major deadlines, I'll be able to kind of engage with the things that I've been wanting to do. I've been wanting to finish my pattern. I have the first draft with my tech editor, and we've kind of gone back and forth in terms of how I want it laid out and what I want to kind of how I want the chart to look. So it's been really fun and interesting. I don't consider myself like a knitwear designer. And I can kind of, like, I can articulate to myself what I want to do with this pattern, but actually talking to someone that thinks in terms of the technical aspects, totally different. And it's really, really interesting, the things she's been asking of like grading and outcome, and then like, why am I wanting stitches to be done in a certain way? And so, which I just don't think of. And it's been really interesting. It kind of opened my eyes up, and when I look at patterns, I'm like, oh, okay, I'm seeing that type of stuff in this pattern that I didn't address in what I sent as my kind of first draft. So I'm hoping to have that up and ready to go here soon. I know I keep saying that. I've been saying it since I started, but life has been crazy. And then I'm hoping to finish up the Taming Tension, which, yes, I've said that a million times too. But yeah, it's just one of those things. I paid for the course, and I want to give it my all. I want to be able to evaluate how to be better with my tension. And so right now with work, I just can't focus on it, and I can't really dive deep. So I've kind of just been like, that's okay. It doesn't have a timeline. We'll be fine. So yeah, I will get it done. And then I think after that, I'm going to pause. And then in the new year, I've been considering doing and starting up the professional knitter certification course. So I started that a while ago, and I've said this before, but Emery had to have multiple surgeries kind of during that time frame, and I kind of asked for an extension, got that, and I couldn't make it work. Like I wasn't knitting at that time. The girls were still really little, and I just didn't have much time and capacity with having a kiddo that needed multiple surgeries and kind of recovery after that. So, but with that, I will say goodbye and wish everyone a wonderful day. I hope that you are enjoying whatever you are working on, whether it's knitting, crochet, weaving, embroidery, tatting, whatever you are doing. I hope you are enjoying it. I am hopeful that you are enjoying the fiber flowing between your fingers. So have a great day, everyone.